Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sesh. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I'm so excited to be back on this pretty chill little Tuesday here. We finally made it to December. Wow, time is flying, especially after getting sick and practically losing 2 weeks of my life. Apologies if last episode was a little chaotic. The COVID brain really got to me, but thank you all for all the well wishes. You guys are so sweet. But yeah, that first week was me getting the illness and like suffering, and then my second week was me kind of trying to get back up on my feet, finally have enough energy to do laundry, to clean, to do dishes, because my God, the COVID fatigue is real. Every time I've gotten COVID, I feel like it's affected me differently. First time I got it, it was like genuine. I felt like my body was swelling, my joints were snapping in half, like horrible migraine symptoms. Second time I got it, it was more like a flu. And then this time, really honestly, it's been just the fatigue. So giving myself time genuinely to like rest, to recoup, to make sure my brain is functioning. I was doing some online research, and especially with the fatigue aspect, people are like, don't rush it, especially like getting back into the gym or getting physical. You're just going to put yourself further behind by not giving yourself adequate time to rest. So that's really all I've been focusing on recently. Don't have a lot to catch you guys up on. Thank you for all the support with the merch drop. Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. I'm glad you enjoyed the products that I put out. We are almost sold out of mugs. Genuinely, I think I have like 3 left. I'm hoping to get more made, as well as you guys just liked the sexy bitch kind of vibe. So I'm gonna put it on t-shirts too. If you want just like a fun, silly, oversized sleep tee, I mean, what's better than that? Those will be coming out shortly. Stay tuned. Hopefully by the next episode, for those who maybe weren't able to snag a mug. I still have plenty of Diva baby tees, Gottweed baby tees, and much more coming soon. But genuinely, thank you so much for all the support. Please, once you get them, post photos. I want to see you guys, tag me. I want to see how you enjoy your Smoke Sesh merch. Everything will be shipped by the end of this week, since it is all handmade, hand packaged, done by me. I'm not like using a fulfillment service, girl. Literally behind this camera, there's a whole shipping station I have set up. So hand packaged, handmade with love by Hannah, and it will be to you shortly, I promise. Now, Spotify Wrapped came out, and you guys, oh my gosh, the amount of growth that we have done together and that this podcast has done brings so much just joy and warmth to my heart. Smoke Sesh was in the top 1% of video podcasts on Spotify, which is absolutely insane to think about. Like, are you kidding me? Top 1%? I was expecting maybe like, honestly, I wasn't expecting anything. I have no idea about the stats or what this podcast reaches or does, other than just like comments and outreach and things like that, as well as at the end of the year I check my Spotify Wrapped, and it's always shocking to see how much this podcast grows each year. But top 1% is crazy. So thank you for all of you for tuning in every week, for joining me, for being on this journey of just self-love and self-care, and working through the crazy shit with me. This life's not easy, so we might as well get through it together. And it's kind of so crazy looking back, the amount of growth that you can do in a year. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, my first ever like video episode that I made on Spotify, or just in general for this podcast, I've been doing it for years, but I only started doing video episodes a year ago. So for us to reach the top 1% in a year, that is fucking insane. I am so thankful for you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Genuinely, I could not do it without you. Now, if you want to talk music and Spotify Wrapped in that sort of way, my top artists this year were Coco and Claire Claire. They were number 1, which was kind of surprising because in number 2, I had the Marias. I thought the Marias were going to pull first. I've been listening to them a lot recently. They're so just like melancholy, chill music, especially for the winter. But best believe all summer, I was bumping a lot of Coco and Claire Claire. In third place, I had Doechii. She is new to the Spotify Rap top 5. I have been obsessed with her this year. If you need a good, fun, amazing, talented, artistic artist, singer, I highly recommend getting into her new album, Alligator Bites Don't Heal. Is that what it's called? Also, check out her most recent Tiny Desk performance. It was genuinely so good. But yes, she came in at 3rd place. 4th place, Kate Trinata, who is genuinely always there. And then 5th place, Kali Uchis, who again has been on my Spotify Wrapped list since I started using Spotify, honestly. But yes, those are my top 5 most listened to artists this year. If you are curious and if you need some new people to listen to, Coco, Claire Claire, the Marias, Doechii, Kate Trinata, and Kali Uchis, those are probably my ultimate favorite artists. But yeah, other than just celebrating, getting some work done, healing from my ailments or whatever, I haven't really been up to much. This weekend I did go see the Nutcracker, which was so amazing and so beautiful. I haven't seen it in a while. It's probably one of my favorite things to do to celebrate the holiday and also just support your local arts. I highly recommend going, especially during the winter where it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Go see a show, go see a play, go to the ballet, go to the symphony. You can always find discounted tickets. It's never like a super expensive trip if you kind of plan ahead, but it is always a great way to get into the holiday spirit. I went with my nephew, my sister-in-law, and my mom. We had a little date. My nephew's been in ballet for quite some time now. My sister-in-law has been a dancer and a singer and just a very artistic person, so of course she's going to get her kids into it, which I love. And my nephew became obsessed with the Nutcracker. He's only 4, but oh my gosh, he's so sweet. It was a late showing. It was like a 7:30 showing, which for a 4-year-old, that's bedtime. But you know, he held his own. He made it through both parts. He loved it. He was having a great time. The Sugar Plum Fairies came out on stage and it was dead silent. And he goes, wow, they're so beautiful. And everybody in the audience just went, oh, like that is so precious. He is so sweet. And yeah, got to spend some time with the family, hang out with the crazy kids, and get to celebrate the holidays a little bit, see the Nutcracker. It was a magical experience. Kansas City Ballet is so talented, and every show that I see by them is just jaw-dropping. So if you need some holiday celebration, holiday cheer, go support your local arts. Go see what they got going on. With that being said, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this piece. I'm getting to the podcast a little bit late today, so I think it's time for us to smoke a bowl and get into what you guys have going on. I think it's a little chaotic. I was scrolling through some of the questions and it is a chaotic time in the atmosphere in the world right now, so we'll get into that energy in a second, but let's take the edge off. Let's hit this. Cheers, girls. Astrology update for you girls, especially since you, I'm sure, are feeling the chaotic energy. Not only are we going through a retrograde right now, which I did talk about on the last episode, did fill you guys in a bit. Retrogrades, I feel like generally we're used to that chaotic energy. They do happen 2, 3, 4 times a year, so it is a energy that we do experience quite often in our lives. The best thing you can really do is just stay calm, cool, collected, and mind your own fucking business. Just try and hold on the best you can, but it will kind of put you through a lot of trials and tribulations to kind of make you double check in on your life and make you kind of ask yourself, am I in the right spot? Am I with the right person? Am I doing the right thing? Am I engaging in the right behaviors? And now we have that joined with a Mars retrograde. We just entered on December 6th, which I believe continues until February. So we have a little bit of more chaotic energy to add to the insane situation that we might be going through, which is why some of your lives might feel a little more chaotic, introspective than usual. Our Mars retrograde right now is currently going through Leo, which is the sign of ego, of passion, of sex, of love. Specifically, if you want to know where it's going to affect you most, look into your birth chart and find what house it's in. In that house, it will tell you most about what you're going to find this inspiration behind. Mars retrograde, in my opinion, shouldn't be so scary. I mean, I also believe Mercury retrograde shouldn't be so scary. I am not like a super fan, universe, please don't come for me, but like I am kind of a fan of the chaos. I think it really tests us. It really clears our mind and our eyes to what truly needs to change in our life. And this Mars retrograde is kind of putting us in a very introspective light. This is the time where you're gonna want to kind of retreat inwards. Don't lash out. The Sagittarius energy right now is going to make you want to. Don't lash out. Don't give in. Look inwards. Retreat a little bit. Ask yourself, like, are these habits I'm engaging in positive or negative? Do I keep finding myself in certain cycles, and how can I break that? What can I implement in my life right now that's going to bring me out on top in February? If you are waiting to start your winter arc, this is the fucking time to do so. Okay? The kind of energy that I will be engaging in is not like go out, party, socialize. I really am not feeling that right now, especially with the retrogrades in both Mercury and Mars. I am kind of focused on, in the same way, in the same aspect that we spoke about nature doing, just retreating inwards, taking care of self, taking care of home, and figuring out little ways that I can level up my life so then the spring and summer can be truly full of enjoyment. So if you don't know what to do with your time, if you're questioning yourself, it's okay. Take that time to be introspective, to maybe self-isolate a little bit, to retreat from the world so then you can rebuild the kind of world you want to live in. Speaking of, I think this is a great question to start out with. Someone asked, what is something you would like to stop doing in 2025? There's a lot. There's a lot of things. And I think if you have a hard time maybe completing like a yearly goals list or New Year's resolutions, ask yourself, what the fuck do you want to stop doing? It's way easier to think of things you want to stop doing than it is to think of things that you want to do. At least for me personally, you know? I'm still working on my New Year's resolution list. I will hopefully probably speak about that on the next episode. So if you need some homework, get to work on your resolution list. It's a great time to do so. But yeah, for me personally, figuring out what I want to do, I first have to figure out what I have to stop doing in order to make space for those goals. So for me, things like I'd like to cut back drinking. I feel like that's one that a lot of people have on their list. I do like to do dry January. I did my first ever dry January last year, and I think it's so great, especially to kind of become more mindful about consumption, why you consume, when do you do it, and if it really holds value in your life. And you can do dry January from anything. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be weed if you're like, maybe my relationship with weed is not great right now. It can be friends if you feel like the people in your life are not people that truly love and support you. It could be boyfriends. It could be sex. It could be love. It can be anything that you think you have like a slight addiction to. I think it's a great time to kind of put ourselves in check, especially during that Mars retrograde when we're dealing with ego. Why do we have these attachments? How can we break them? And how can we kind of elevate ourselves away from these things? I did dry January last year, and honestly, it really, really helped. And I found that even though I did start drinking again after January, it did help the way I consumed. I wasn't like going on benders, or I wasn't seeking partying as much. It was kind of just like a casual consumption, which was my goal. You know, like a glass of wine at the end of the night is not a huge deal. But now at this point, even like a glass of wine at the end of the night, it's kind of just like, I'm over it, you know? I mean, occasionally, sure, but I definitely don't want to be drinking more than once a week. Working in the restaurant industry, that's really hard. The servers know. I mean, especially when you're selling wine, when you're selling an experience, when you're selling a good time, of course there's going to be alcohol involved. But yeah, I want to be more conscious about my consumption and conscious about why and when, and just generally cutting back, because there are no benefits to it at all. The older I've gotten, the worse my hangovers get, the worse it makes me feel. Like when I was younger, oh my gosh, I could take 15 shots in a night plus mixed cocktails, completely black out, do other substances, wake up the next morning, feel completely fine. That is insane to think about now. That's crazy to think about. Like, I don't understand how my body was able to process all that and feel okay in the morning. But now, like, even one glass of wine, I'm going to feel something the next morning and it's not going to feel great. You know what I mean? And it's just like, why? It's not worth it. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I want to cut out. Another thing, which I think a lot of people feel the same way, is just general like phone addiction and social media addiction. I don't think mine's too bad. I do think I use it in mentally a healthy manner. I feel like a lot of people's social media addiction is like a hatred of it. Like I'm engaging in things I don't like. It's bringing me anxiety, like a negative aspect. I feel like I genuinely engage with social media and my phone in like a inspiration aspect, the same way I would use it when I was like 13. It's like, let me just scroll, look at pretty pictures, kind of mood board, things like that. Like I genuinely find so much inspiration from it, but still I'm just using it too much. Like you can only live in an inspiration world so long before you have to just start creating something with your real life. And that's kind of the point I'm at now. It's a natural path that you will follow. So if you find yourself in the kind of negative feelings towards social media but still can't stop using it, it's okay. You will eventually work your way towards a positive path. You just kind of have to realize the behaviors that you're engaging in and like why it's making you feel that way. Once I started asking myself like, why would I willingly keep engaging in something that's making me feel bad, I just generally stopped doing it less, and also really controlled the things that I was interacting with, focusing more on inspiration in an artistic manner, and mood boarding and world building and things like that. It did transform the way I interacted with it, and it really helped my relationship with it. But now I'm just kind of over it in general. Like TikTok is getting banned. I could generally care less. In fact, I think all social media should be banned. You're like, girl, you survive off of it. Yeah, I know, but we have to address like what has a negative impact on us. And there's a lot of people out there that like feed off of the negative impact that they can make and the money that they can gain from it. And it's kind of just so tiring. But yeah, I think a main goal of mine is just get off social media and get into the real world. What can I create in my real world? What hobbies can I have? How can I just inspire myself on the daily instead of inspiring myself through my phone? But yes, next week I will have a full New Year's resolution list. If you need some homework for the week or are trying to drive inspiration in your life, I highly recommend creating one. 'Tis the season. And yeah, ask yourself, what do you not want to carry into your new year, as well as what do you want to carry into your new year? One goal I actually do have for this new year, which is something that I did last year and it worked really well for me, so I figured I'd share, is just more traveling. I want to travel more, short weekend trips, experience the world. It has so much to offer, and if you think you can't do it, you can. I used to be the kind of person who was like, okay, maybe like one trip every other year, and I realized that only existed because I was bad at planning. I was bad at planning. All the people, all these travel baddies you see out there who are able to go on these trips for only a couple grand and be able to be out there for weeks at a time, is not because they booked the flight a week before. It's because they booked the flight like 2 years ago, pretty much. If you plan ahead, if you really take the time to think through what you want to do, to really budget, to really kind of buy these things early on so you have time to then cushion in between financially, so you're not just like blowing a bunch of money all at one time, it makes it way easier to accomplish. Last year I went on I think like 3 or 4 different trips. Did a couple small ones like a week or less. I went to Eureka Springs for my birthday. I went to Austin, Texas to visit a friend, which was both places amazingly gorgeous. Really was not expecting that. Very pleasantly surprised, which once again is why I think people should travel more. And then I also went on a 12-day girls road trip through Kansas to Colorado. up to Montana, and we did the national parks throughout there, really focusing on the Grand Tetons, which was probably in my top 3 national parks ever, and Yellowstone National Park. It was just so incredible, so beautiful, and the only reason we were able to do that and do that well is because we started planning about this time last year. So we took a full probably 6, 7, maybe 8 months to really plan out this trip, to book the Airbnbs early, to do our research so we weren't wasting money on unnecessary things, to really cost analysis and ask ourselves, okay, well, are we going to fly here? Are we going to drive here? Like, what's the best option for not only our time, but also our money? And we took our time planning these things and working it out, and it worked so smoothly. It was such a perfect trip. We were able to achieve almost everything that we wanted to go see and do. We were able to experience so many different things, to go to so many different places in that amount of time, and it was just amazing, perfect. I do think we are going to go on another one of these like national park girls trips to the Pacific Northwest this year. So now is the time that I'm like, all right, girls, we got to get together. We got to start planning these things. And also asking myself, like, where else do I want to travel to? What makes sense? What makes sense for this year of my life? What makes sense for this season of my life, not only financially but goals wise? One big place I would love to go to is Europe. I really want to get to Europe, to Italy, to France, just everywhere out there and experience and travel. But I also know this year in Rome, it's the Jubilee, which is like only ever happens every 25 years. So people are going to be traveling there a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit hectic. It's also going to be a little bit more expensive because of this. Prices are raising. So does it make sense for me to go there this year? Probably not. And I'm okay waiting another year, but that doesn't mean I have to miss out on all travel possible. What else can I do? What makes sense for me? And how can I plan ahead accordingly? And listen, please don't go into credit card debt for travel. Like, don't go into credit card debt for anything, but especially not for travel. That's why I'm a big proponent of just planning ahead. Because if you front the money, you know, the money that you do have early on, it gives you that buffer space to kind of make it back. So you're not just like wasting a big chunk of money all at once, especially money you don't have. You know, work that extra shift, pick up that extra job, use your trip as motivation to make it through those hard times, especially the winter, especially that shitty job you have. Use that as motivation to keep you going. It's a big motivation of mine. It really kind of just gives my life a little bit more purpose. It's like, you know what, fuck it. I will work that extra shift. I will pick up that extra 12 hours. You know what, I'll pocket the money, because guess what? Soon enough, I'm going to be on this amazing trip experiencing this amazing thing, and I'll forget all about this fucking job I have, or, you know, whatever I might be going through. And that's worth it in my opinion. But yes, please, no credit card debt. Be smart about your finances. Figure out what can work for you, because you can make it happen. Listen, I've always wanted to be the girl that could travel and go places. So you know what? I gotta become her. Someone asked, help, I'm so awkward. How do I fix it? Especially during the holidays and just being forced to be a little bit more social, I feel like the awkwardness really comes out, or just generally the self-evaluation comes out a lot more since you're placed in more situations. And it's normal. Everybody feels this way. I promise you, there's nothing wrong with you. This is a feeling that everybody's going to go through at some point in time. If I'm being honest, I feel like energy is a big thing. Like, you can be weird, but as long as you're just generally positive, people will find you engaging, find you interesting, find you fun. It's really only awkward if you make it awkward, if you feel bad about yourself, if you start demeaning yourself in your head. That energy you create is then kind of, socially picked up on by the people you're around. So if you find yourself trailing down that path, I feel like just generally positive affirmations are really nice, and taking time to pause and stop yourself from going on this crazy spiral train of thought, and really forcing yourself to be present in the moment so you're not able to engage in that negativity. But yes, just going in with a positive mindset, generally just thinking you're cool, thinking you're nice, you're amazing, other people will pick up on that and also believe that. Mindset is key. And if you go into a convo seeing yourself as awkward, you'll feel awkward, and then people will kind of perceive you as awkward. I recommend also asking questions if you don't know what to do, because then you can be more of a listener and you can use your silence as a strong point, especially if you're not a talker. Just ask people questions. What are you doing? What are you interested in right now? What's your career like? Just keep asking them questions. Friends, hobbies, family, how the day is going, work, etc. It can lead to interesting combos, and it can help you think of stuff to say since there aren't things to respond to. Maybe you have something in common, maybe you have something different with them. It just brings up more talking points. Also, talk about your ambitions, hobbies, how you're bored sometimes, relationships, anything that interests you. Overall, remain neutral and just keep seeing yourself in a good way. Being natural is the best thing to do, so just be you, and sometimes awkward moments happen, and just know it's no biggie. You can even make a joke about it. Don't lean too far into the self-depreciating humor. Always convey yourself as just like a good person, genuinely interested, that you like yourself. It will make the situations that you maybe do find yourself in less awkward. And if you slip up, it's no biggie. In the past, I've even been like, you know what, I completely forgot what I was gonna say, and just make a joke out of it. I think it makes you more relatable, makes you more human, and in general, people are gonna connect with that more. Humor always makes us feel better and helps us click with one another. Also, just be careful about the energy you surround yourself with. If you feel like it's always awkward with a person and you genuinely are trying your hardest to not make it weird, maybe it's them, and that's okay. Not everybody's gonna click. Not everybody's gonna get along. Sometimes you just gotta show face and be nice for the sake of niceness, but also you don't have to keep certain energy around you if you're just this is weird and off-putting. These interactions are just awkward and I'm unsure about this person and how they feel. Just because you're not making it awkward, it can still be an awkward situation. And if the people around you are just not fun to interact with, you don't have to keep doing it. Sometimes it's not your fault. You'll never be able to eradicate all awkwardness. It's always going to come up. There's no way you're going to be able to just beat it. So sometimes simply just existing in it is all you can do. Become a person who can laugh at the silent moment, laugh at the awkwardness. It can't hurt you, so don't give it power. All right, someone asked how to become a bad bitch. Oh wow, if only it was just so easy. I feel like there's so many different versions of the bad bitch. You know what I mean? There's so many different idealized versions of this person, how they look, how they act, how they behave. So I think step number one is to just stop comparing yourself to these ideals. Stop comparing yourself to these people around you. Stop comparing yourself to any person that maybe you might feel just in competition with in general, and start comparing yourself to you. Start comparing yourself to you the year before, in the years past, in the present, in the future, where you want to go. That's kind of where you need to start at a baseline. Not having this person who is the complete exact opposite of you and wanting to become that. You never will be that. You will never be able to enter her body like that. And ask yourself, who do you want to be? Where have you come from? How have you grown? And where do you want to grow now? I do have I have many. I took time to really think about what I think the bad bitch fundamentals are, as if I'm writing a bad bitch Bible or something. So here are my short and sweet kind of fundamentals and rules to truly becoming a bad bitch. Take care of yourself. Mentally, physically, spiritually, you will radiate and glow the more you put time and effort into yourself. Health is wealth. That's something I've really learned this year, as I kind of stopped just ignoring myself in a certain way and started asking myself okay, where can I improve on, and where do I want to improve on? Not in a negative way, as in I don't fit in or I'm ugly, but more of how can I make myself kind of elevated from what I already am. One of those was growing out my hair and taking time to really take care of it, figure out right products, how my hair care routine is going to look. Kind of has now switched into skincare, and I'm getting a little more serious about my skincare, which is very interesting. And I do have some new favorite products, which I will share soon. They're kind of in the trial phase in my life right now. So I'm going to give them a little more time. I like to do at least a month to make sure that truly it is doing what I think it's doing. But yes, take time to yourself. Figure out how you want to be mentally. Figure out how you want to be physically. Who do you want to be spiritually? Really focusing on you and learning to level up you. People will notice that level up as well. Notice that glow and the time and effort that you do put into yourself. People are able to pick up on that. So take your time. The girls who have style, true style, are simply put, not trying. I hate to say it. The trick is to have simple basics, clothing that fits you properly, reflects your genuine interests, and simply go along with what the day is requiring from you. Main girl I'm kind of thinking about right now, everybody has like that kind of style icon. But one that's popping into my head for like just the casual chill girl is Princess Diana. I mean, she's an icon in this field. Going to the gym, simple, comfortable gym fit, pissing off your ex-husband, chicest, shortest dress you can possibly find. Like, I love it. True style is not something that can be replicated through trends. It is lived in, it is where you've been, it's who you've met. It's experience that builds wardrobe, not watching a TikTok on how to be, like, what's the trend? Like a rock star's girlfriend. Bitch, go out there and become one. Go be the rock star girlfriend. Like, that's truly how you develop that style and that sense of self. You should not be Googling or looking up how to make him obsessed with you, bitch. He already should be. You are the prize to be won, and he should act accordingly. Yes, that sounds a little toxic on my end, but I'm like so tired of seeing you guys put yourself aside for men. There's too many out there acting like princesses, and I will not stand for it anymore. I will not. You're too grown to be around people who hurt you, disrespect you, demean you, and want you to keep forgiving them. 2 strikes and you're out. The 3rd time, the 4th time, the 5th time they do it, bitch, that's just a habit. You get 2 strikes, and you know what? At this point, you know what? If you keep doing those bad things, I'm just gonna assume you're a bad person. You don't have to keep them around you. A bad bitch is always doing something. No one likes people with no substance. I mean, you don't like yourself with no substance. I think that's why people have such a hard time with social media, is because it takes up all their time, and then they're like, wow, my only personality trait is consuming social media. Bitch, you need a hobby, a weird interest, a job, whether you like it or not. Just do something. It'll help you grow, become a better person, a more well-rounded person, and an interesting person. I also think this helps with like decentering men. You won't have any time to worry that much about a man if you're doing something, and you're probably more interesting than him anyways. Genuinely, I think weed makes me dyslexic. Like, reading these and then also like forming sentences is so hard. Girl, you know what? Maybe that's something I need to unpack. All right, keeping it going. Being cold and off-putting isn't making you look cool and mysterious. You look like a mean bitch. Like, I hate to say it. So say please and thank you. Develop some manners. Understand everyone is not here to serve you. Being angry and mean all the time takes a toll physically, while kindness makes you able to surpass all obstacles. There's a time and place to become a bitch also. I'm not saying become a doormat. It's a power, and you have to know when to use it to become respected. Being a bitch to the server at a restaurant when they mess up your order? Absolutely not. Maybe a man overstepping his boundaries? Absolutely. You can't be a bitch all the time, or you'll just be labeled the bad guy. I also just genuinely believe a bad bitch is always thinking ahead and thinking about people, like making space for people, inviting them, showing up for them, really supporting and uplifting the people in their lives, making them feel special, not making their life all about them. I think this main character trend has really made people put others aside and kind of not give a fuck about them anymore because, oh, well, my life just revolves around me. I mean, like, sure, but how are you going to form any meaningful relationships when you never show up for anybody, when you don't support your friends, when you don't do that hard thing for your friend? Real relationships are hard to come by nowadays, and I think it's because of that. It's like the egotistical side of ourselves. Really show up for the people in your life. And just general pro tip, when it comes to being invited to a gathering, like a family party, company party, hang out with friends, never show up empty-handed. Always bring something for the host, and not something that's gonna like make their life harder, obviously. Like extra points for something that the host can use to like relax, like a candle, a tea or coffee set, flowers, honeys, jams, wines, lotion. This goes for men too. I don't think anybody should be showing up empty-handed anywhere. Always bring something, always think ahead, always make the person feel special. Do things for yourself. Want to go to that fancy restaurant? Go alone, go sit at the bar. You don't have to have someone accompanying you. Want to move to a new city? Do it. Want to follow your dreams? Chase them. You might not always succeed, but you'd be surprised how highly favored you are from the universe, and things will most likely work out. And in the process, you will learn more about yourself and become a stronger, self-confident individual. Spend time with people who feel like human medicine, those who inspire you and make you feel rejuvenated after hanging out. Being around insecure people will also make you insecure. Being around positive, uplifting people will make you more positive, uplifted, feel more secure. Pay attention to the energy you keep around you and how people make you feel. Rushing only gives you the illusion that you're moving faster. Stop. Slow down. Think about what you're doing. The future you so highly desire will eventually be yours. So take your time, rest if you need to, game plan. You will get there eventually. This is one that I think a lot of people are overlooking right now, but education is power. Assume you know nothing. Open yourself up to all possibilities. Always take the opportunity to learn more. The baddest bitches are the ones who are inquisitive, who are always searching, who always have a new interest, a new hobby, or reading a new book, doing things that inspire them intellectually and help their mind grow. Financial literacy and knowledge is important. I don't want any of you ending up as a stay-at-home wife with only access to your man's card for him to cheat on you and leave you high and dry with 3 kids and no savings account and no job experience. It is a systematic trap. It really is. Get your money up, grow your savings, invest wisely, pay for, I don't know, like a fiduciary, a tax advisor to handle your money if you don't know how to. Pay for somebody who does have the education to help you out. Have a good job portfolio and a backup plan always. Financial literacy, I mean, in this economy, in this country, it's freedom, and it's hard for a reason. They don't want you to know because they don't want you to succeed. Don't let them win. It's okay to want to be taken care of. Learn your love languages, communicate them with your partner, seek partners that see you and want to love you the way you deserve. Vice versa, learn your partner's love languages. Learn how to love them. It'll make your life way easier. Your phone can be a trap or it can be an inspiration. Choose wisely and pay attention to how you engage with content. You don't have to tell everyone everything. In fact, you should keep most things to yourself. The evil eye is real and you never know who is secretly preying on your downfall. Don't post yourself complaining online. Don't record strangers in public and post it. Don't share what is unnecessarily and frankly weird. I think Ash Trevino, the girl going viral online, is like a great example of this. Like, don't sell yourself out. Don't do weird things online. Social media literacy and privacy, I think, is important. Body count doesn't matter. It's childish and no real sane person actually cares. Lean into your sensual side in whatever aspect that calls to you. If you seek pleasure and you're good at it, who can blame a girl? We all have needs. Also, if you have no interest, there's no shame at all. Be safe. Use protection. Don't do it with people who you don't trust, especially with people you don't trust with literally 18 years of your life. Yeah, babe. It's important to learn when to say no. Being able to say no is a powerful tool and you should use it often, especially in a world where people feel entitled to women, their time, their body, their ideas. Say no, stick to it. You really truly don't owe anybody anything. Sometimes, and for me most of the time, You have to mentally check yourself, start correcting yourself when you've been unnecessarily hateful and negative, start minding your business when you realize you're policing someone else's choices that have nothing to do with you. Hold yourself accountable for goals you set and stick to yourself. You've got to learn self-control. You've got to practice it. You'd be surprised how far you get simply asking for things. The worst someone can say is no, but they're usually going to say yes. Ask the universe for blessings. Ask your boyfriend for that new bag. Call about your bills, ask them to lower it. You'd be surprised, genuinely, you'd be so surprised how far you can get. The more effort you put into yourself while you're young, the easier your older years will be. Do the hard thing, move while nothing is tying you down, travel while you have free time, work out so you don't face muscle and joint pain in the future, eat well so your organs function better, choose good lovers so you don't end up in a trap. Do these things young, practice them young. It will make your life so much more smooth. Speaking of getting older, as you get older, you get wiser, more stable, more confident, and sexier. It's a myth that the ideal years are when women are young. I mean, can you take a wild guess on who came up with that? Don't feed into this impossible way of living. Age is a gift, lessons are blessings, and with every year, you truly just get better. Those are Hannah's bad bitch fundamentals, the bad bitch Bible, one could say. Maybe I should put into a book, like that could be each a chapter, because I have so much more to add, but genuinely those are the main ones that I could really think of, and the main things that I think every bad bitch needs to hear. Who you want to become, the idealized person in your head, you know, the perfect state of who you want to be is a possibility. You can get there. There is no obstacle you can't overcome. Take your time, lean into yourself, support yourself, uplift yourself, and you will get there in no time. TBH, if you listen to Smoke Sesh, you're already a bad bitch, honestly. Someone asked, staying sane while the world falls apart, news plus social media sparking existential dread daily. I hate to say it, but you just gotta get off your damn phone. Not to be like that one millennial mom or like, you know, your annoying parent who's like, no, your phone's making you worse. And you're like, no, it's not. No, like, it genuinely is. It is. And consuming too much, I mean, like, we just weren't born to do that. So, of course, it gets so overwhelming. I mean, humans were created to have, like, a community, of course, but not, like, outreach of, like, 8 billion. That's way too much for our little brains, for our little animal brains. It's okay if you're overwhelmed. That's a normal feeling when engaging with just that much social media and that much content, especially when, you know, social media has a tendency of feeding us a lot of negativity because it's easier to engage with. It's a heightened emotion, which is then easier to become addicted to. It's a trap, unfortunately, and I've fallen victim to this trap. I'm sure we all have, but you can escape, and unfortunately, or honestly, fortunately, because it's easy, the only way out is just to put your fucking phone down. Put your phone down, get into your community, get with your friends. I guarantee once you enter the real world again, you'll realize how much hope and joy there truly is in the community that you've built around you. So stop stressing yourself out. And unfortunately, yeah, your parents are right. Someone asked, what are my winter faves right now? Honestly, I've really been in my moisturization era, which is crazy. I just feel like in the winter, like I get so dry. Like my skin is suffering, my organs are suffering. I don't know. It's like probably the cold weather, but recently my winter faves have been the Glossier body oil. It smells like jasmine. You're gonna smell like a goddess when you rub it on. It's fantastic, particularly after dry brushing. I've been loving dry brushing, especially to just get off dead skin and feel like your skin is baby smooth all the time. It also helps with dark spots, I've noticed, but dry brushing before I get in the shower followed by a fantastic body oil is ideal. I've been trying out new moisturizers recently for my face because my skin is just so picky. Like I said, it takes time to work through them. My most recent one is the Rhode Barrier Butter. I've just heard really good things about it. I did some research on the ingredients and they didn't seem like they were going to bother me. So I just needed a deep hydration. I'm trying that one out right now. I'll let you know if it's Hannah approved soon. That, just making sure I'm drinking enough water. I've been into tea recently as a form of hydration too. If you need something warm, I love a peppermint tea with a little bit of honey in it. Ooh, oof, so good, especially on a cold night. Fantastic. The Crown Affair leave-in conditioner. After using so much heat products on my hair just for years fucking straight, I used to do these massive big 70s barrel curls every day. It was fucking insane because I was cooking my hair at 400 degrees every morning for like an hour. I don't know why I was doing that. If your hair is dead and dry, please do not use more heat on it. But the Crown Affair hair moisturizer, the leave-in conditioner, is fantastic. It's a little pricier. I will say it's the only leave-in conditioner I've tried, so maybe I could try a cheaper one. But I just needed something to add a little bit more softness to my hair as like a weekly routine, so it wasn't snapping off and breaking and I wasn't losing hair anymore. But yes, I've been loving that as like a good hair mask when you get out of the shower. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been into that's newer this winter, all kind of falling into the same perspective of focusing inward, self-care. Really in my hibernation mode right now. Someone said, not a question, but thank you so much for promoting making a cons list. It saved my life for real. I love that, especially as a girl who just like rose colored glasses on constantly. I mean, constantly seeing the good, of course, but sometimes to the point where it was like a downfall of mine. Like, no, they're evil. You don't have to be kind to them. You don't have to make them a good person in your head. Cons lists are a great way to like keep my fucking brain in check. You know, like, is that situationship really good for you, girl? Make that cons list. When you see those 50 bullet points, you're gonna be rethinking things, especially when you have that like maybe mental delusion, the rose-colored glasses delusion of it all, where it's like you are making them out to be a good person when they're genuinely evil. Making only cons lists keeps you from idealizing that side of them or painting them out to be the person that they truly aren't. It keeps you in check because, bitch, as soon as you pull up that cons list, you're gonna be like, oh no, this is who they truly are. Right. It's great. I love it. Why do friends ghost you when they're going through something? I don't know. I think we all process things differently. I'm definitely this kind of person, and it's not because I don't want to speak to my friends or be around them. It's just like, bitch, my life is busy. I'm so sorry. I'm overcome with something. But yeah, I don't think I would take it personally. I think I would just, if you feel them getting distant, maybe reach out. It's okay to notice like, wow, this person's pulling away. It's probably not because of you and probably because they're just going through something in their life, especially if they're a friend. So reach out, be like, hey girl, are you okay? Miss you, want to spend time with you. Let's get together. You make a plan. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty normal, especially in adult relationships and friendships where it's just like life becomes a lot really fast all of a sudden, and that's okay. Just give people time, you know? Someone said, I fear I never want to have kids, and honestly, real. If I could be just like an aunt and a spoiled cat mom for the rest of my life, I genuinely believe I will be satisfied with the life I have lived. I mean, everybody's different. Children call upon them at different times. Sometimes we don't call upon them. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I hear you. It's a tricky situation, which is why I'm a big proponent of just like protecting yourself in that sort of way. Not that children are evil. I've been a daycare teacher. I've been a nanny. I love children. I think they have so much to teach us, but they can only like teach us if we are mentally equipped, physically equipped to actually learn from them. So yes, please be careful. The reason I'm not a young mother is because of my fucking brick wall that is an IUD. Shout out to her. She is my bestie, lifelong bestie, worth every single amount of pain that I had to go through. If I had to get her replaced tomorrow, I would. But yeah, I don't know, being a cat mom, I mean, I've always been a cat mom, but finally having him here with me has really made me realize how much of like a crazy mom I'm gonna be and how like anxious I'm gonna be. Like, if you think you Google things a lot, imagine having a child. I'd be like, are they breathing correctly? Like, their heartbeat, is it beating correctly? I'd be Googling random fucking things. My anxiety would be through the roof. So honestly, having my cat right now is pretty fulfilling in my life. Also, the amount of money I've spent on him, I could only imagine also having a human child. Like, No, that's a lot of money. If a cat's expensive, bitch, imagine a child. My cat's only expensive because I spoil him so much and I don't want him to be bored ever. Like, I want him to live the most magical life ever. So, of course, he has multiple cat trees and many different toys and wands and different puzzles. Oh my god, different kinds of food. I've been researching food. I've been researching litter, bitch. If you want a full video on like my favorites, at least me and Danger's favorites being a cat parent, let me know. Would love to create that now that I've kind of been trial and erroring. If I can save you money, then I would love to do so. It's so funny though, because you'll spend like $100 on like what's supposed to be like the smartest cat toy ever, and it's like, no bitch, they prefer like a toilet paper roll on the ground. Like, they prefer a cardboard box. It's kind of scary and shocking. Danger loves his, I got him like a little cardboard gingerbread house from PetSmart. What is it, like $20? And it has like that cardboard scratcher base, and he loves it. It's his little hangout. I put it under my Christmas tree. It's adorable. And then just like wands with like, you know, the funny little worms that you could buy, like the fuzzy worms that everybody used to play with back in like the 2010s. Well, they now make them that attach to the end of a wand so you can wave it around. I don't know what it is about like the worm like structure and how it moves, but that is his favorite toy ever. In fact, it was destroyed in 2 days and I had to buy refills. So I also just bought him mechanical fish that swim in water. I know, I'm actually fucking insane. So maybe he'll like play around with water and drink some or whatever. But if you want any tips and tricks on how to be a cat parent or what's worked for me, let me know. I love researching and developing and just figuring out what works best in my life. Also, I know we're nearing the end of the podcast. I have more questions to get through, but I'm apologizing for my voice. I understand it's been a little hoarse this episode. It is the post-COVID exhaustion, just sore throat, and weed combo. You guys know how that goes. Last couple things I want to talk about. One of them is manifestation, especially with the new year coming up and also seeing Trisha Paytas on Saturday Night Live. I want to get serious about manifestation. I think it is a hot topic that has definitely surfaced in the whole social media, self-care, spiritual realm. It is a hot topic. And I think it's a hot topic because, I mean, it's real. It's real. You can sit here and you can be like, spirituality is not real. You can't work with energy, blah, blah, blah. I am so sorry for the life you're going to live because, hate to break it to you, but it literally is real. It literally is real. You don't believe in it, bitch. Look at Trisha Paytas up there on the SNL stage. That's fucking crazy. And I want to tell you how you can also get there. How you can also be a Trisha Paytas of manifestation. I genuinely kind of looked at like how she started living her life. I saw that and I was like, okay, let me do a deep dive. I've been aware of her presence, but like, let me genuinely do a deep dive of like looking into the maybe quote unquote delusional aspects of how she lives her life and how it actually works in her favor. Sure, it's not like socially correct the way she will dress up and pretend to be people and put on her own music videos, but my God, if they do not completely and utterly manifest into a direct encounter with that thing she was trying to manifest, it's insane how quickly it works for her. And that's because she lives her life as a giant mood board. She really does. I think if you really want to start at the basics of manifestation, you got to dare to dream. There is no goal too big. There's no idea too big. There is no thing that you cannot achieve. And if you say you can't achieve it, you're not going to. Straight up. You can't have any doubt. You have to kind of delusionally and blindly just be like, no, I'm gonna figure it out. I will get it done. It will happen. That thing will be mine. And I think delusion kind of, it comes in helpful, especially if you're the kind of person who does happen to block their blessings a lot or intellectualizes things a little bit too much, where you focus, I mean, sometimes too much on the facts of like what it is. Sometimes obviously, like right now, if I'm like, no, I'm gonna go get on the SNL stage next week, you're like, girl, the facts are not lining up for you. But genuinely, if you take time to believe and just be like, no, you're wrong, it's going to happen. Sure, it might not be next week. It could be 5 years from now. But as long as that belief stays true, your actions fall in pursuit. Things start lining up for you behind the scenes. Actions and things that you can't intellectualize, that you can't actually put into action in your life, things that you can't plan ahead on, just circumstantial happenstances that do put you in the right place at the right time to make that thing work out. So yeah, you can call it woo-woo and magic and spirituality, but I genuinely believe it's just a true desire and belief in yourself, a confidence in yourself of, no, I am deserving, I know what I am made for, and truly believing in that dream that you have. If there's one person that needs to believe in you, delusionally so, it is yourself. You need to learn to have that support for yourself, to truly have that confidence for yourself. I mean, even if you're at the lowest point in your life, still believing, you know what, there's good things out there for me, and standing true beside that. I think an easy tool to really figure out where we want to go is mood boarding. I love mood boarding. I share mood boarding a lot. I usually do it seasonally. I'm a very imaginative person, especially in the aspects of like imagery, so I do like to use that as a tool. But I think at some point you got to start using the imagery as a tool, and you have to then move into your real life. How can I incorporate these things in my real life? How can I turn my real life into a real and honest living vision board? That's how you achieve those manifestations. That's how you slowly start becoming those things and incorporating those ideals into your life. Honestly, kind of subconsciously. And Trisha Paytas is a living example for this. I mean, sure, controversial and all, you have to give her props where it's like, holy shit, she fucking did that. And it's insane because, I mean, she is a controversial person, but like, she has overcome so much and all of those things to then get to this point. Like, oh my gosh, wow. And it truly comes from a overwhelming confidence, desire, sense of self, a true belief in self, and a living mood board. She doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks about her, and you'd be lying if you said it didn't work for her. Bitch, it works for her. The testimony is true. We can see it in real life, and it's kind of fucking insane. Actually, it is insane. So if you need the encouragement or the support to truly just have belief in yourself, to understand that your dreams can become a reality, that everything that you hope and desire for will find its way into your life, this is it. I also would like to give a warning about manifestation. And like I said, it is a tool. It is a power. You can create anything. So be careful what you ask for. Really desire things that are like good for you or fun for you or truly put you forward, not things that are bad for you. Don't manifest that situationship, that man that truly doesn't love you, because all of a sudden he's gonna become head over heels for you and you're gonna realize, holy shit, I don't even like this person. I just like the chase. Be careful what you manifest for. Manifest things for yourself, for your loved ones, positive things, inspirational things, and things that just bring you passion. Who cares if they're silly? As long as you care, that's all that matters. Energy is real, and manifestation does revolve into a positive aspect. You can't manifest anything out of the negative, out of lack, out of no energy. It is not possible. You must utilize the energy that you have inside yourself to then put it into something else. You cannot take it away. And if you're trying to create new things in your life, you have to use that positive energy to then push it into more things. And I'm like, sure, we're all going to have negative sides of ourselves, or we're all going to fall into negative thought spirals at some point. The key is to keep yourself in check. Really be like, no, bitch, we're not going down that path. We're not having that spiral. I mean, it's okay to have all emotions, sure, but like, don't let it overtake you. It's not worth it. You can always find positivity in your life. And in fact, more people, more things, more opportunities will be drawn to you if you're just a genuinely positive person to yourself and to other people. Energy can be picked up on, and manifestation is completely driven by positive energy. I think a lot of manifestation is also letting go of things that just aren't serving you. You have to make room for these blessings to find their way to you. If you are living a life that feels like cyclical, that you keep falling into these behaviors, ask yourself, what are you keeping here that's not allowing you to grow? What do I need to remove in order to make space for, to then fill with blessings? If there's something not working for you, it's not working for a reason, and you don't have to force the fucking puzzle pieces together. Sometimes you just got to be like, this is not working. I'm going to remove it from my life and I'm going to keep it going. The universe will see that and it will bless you with something that you have been manifesting. Once again, when you make room, be careful for what you've been asking for. You can create anything you set your mind to. I know it seems so far-fetched and out there, but you have to have belief in yourself. You have to have trust in yourself. You have to have that confidence in yourself. You have to have that positive, ideal side of yourself. At the end of the day, we live and we die with ourselves. So you really got to take time and energy to make yourself the best version possible. Bitch, when I am 99 on my deathbed, I want to be closing my eyes and looking back on all the amazing, beautiful, wonderful opportunities and experiences I have created for myself. And I understand that journey starts here. I don't want to be laying on my deathbed thinking, wow, I wish I did more. So bitch, get to work. Get to work. Anything you set your mind to. This is also great practice for the new year. Creating mood boards. What I don't want to do. What I do when I want to do. Idealized images of things that you want to bring into your life. There is no idea too big. There's just simply ideas and desires. Bring them to you. For real though, I saw Trisha Paytas on that SNL stage and I was like, wow, I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to live more delusionally. I need to have way more belief in myself. I need to work probably harder. Like, honestly, I hate to say it. Hard work does truly pay off. And good things, they never come easy. Someone asked, how do I build good eating habits? Like, what should I be eating on a daily basis? LMAO. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to what truly works. I don't think you should ever engage in like food restriction or ever have like good foods or bad foods. I think the idea of all foods are good is like where you should start. For me personally, I just really try and focus on eating whole foods. Do you know what I mean? I mean, sure, I'll have that mass-produced frozen pizza every once in a while, those mass-produced spicy chicken sandwiches every once in a while. It is what it is. I'm human. I'm living in the era of spicy chicken sandwiches. How do I say no? But I can't say yes every single day because I'm just going to feel awful. My organs are going to start shutting down. So let me focus on like things that I'm craving and how I can find that in whole foods. How can I focus on taking time to cook for myself and make things that I've been craving, make things that make me feel good? That can look like anything for you. It's gonna look different for everybody, I promise you. And mine switches pretty often. I mean, I'll have hyperfixation foods, but it'll switch quickly if there's something else I'm craving. Or if like I'm on my period and I want more red meat or I'm having that craving. It's okay to give in every once in a while or find little workarounds in your daily life. But genuinely, I think to eat healthy is to eat whole foods. Okay? Go to the grocery store. Buy the chicken breast, buy the flour, make the buns if you want to go that far. Even like taking a spicy chicken sandwich from like a restaurant and then a spicy chicken sandwich that I made myself. The one that I made myself with whole foods, with like not processed things, tastes and makes me feel way better than the one that was just like quickly line made, flash frozen, thrown in a microwave. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm going to give you one piece of advice, it's just, start making things yourself, start from scratch, work with whole foods, make sure you're eating enough. There is no food off limits. It's okay to have a quote unquote slip up every once in a while. Bitch, when I was sick, I ate like a whole frozen pizza every single day. It is what it is. Sometimes that's just going to happen. Don't take it too seriously and don't restrict. Food is fuel. You are allowed to have food. You are allowed to enjoy food. It is one of the very many blessings that we get on this planet. And if I had to make one rule for you, it's make sure you're eating good food. Okay? Good food, good sex, good music, good people, good weed. That's really all you need in life. Someone asked, at what point in seeing a man, going on dates / hooking up, should you define things? I think after 3 months, or at 3 months, within the 3 month span, not in the first month, honestly, not even in the second month. I think the 3 months is like the soft spot, 3-4 months. You guys should know what the fuck's going on. If you have been dragged and unsure for longer than 3 or 4 months, it's just not happening. It's not happening. Do you really want a partner that's unsure about you, that doesn't know how they feel about you, that knows they like spending time with you but wants to hook up with other people? Is that what you're deserving of this new year? No, ma'am. But yeah, at what point, I think at least 3-4 months, you start to realize like what the fuck's going on, and you will start feeling those feelings if you do have them. And yeah, a real man will be able to address these feelings and hold space for the people that he loves in his life. And if this man can't do it for you, get the fuck out of there. Anyways, that's really all we have for this episode today. It was a fun one. The vibes are good. I think it's a very, I know, like, chaotic time and energy right now, but I think there is peace that you can find in this moment. Like I said, this is the time to really mind your own fucking business and get into the details, all right? This is a time when you can really look back on your life and ask yourself, how have I grown? How have I not grown? And what areas did I want to put more effort into? And what areas did I succeed? Really take yourself into account for the goals you've achieved and maybe the things that you still want to do. Really take into account what energy you want to bring into this next year to get yourself in fucking check. Okay? And you can't do that while like running around and distracting yourself with, I mean, sure, interesting things, but maybe things that aren't good for you. Pause, go into hibernation mode, take yourself into account, really put yourself sometimes like in isolation to take yourself into check. I think isolation, there's a lot you can learn from it when you're finally forced to face yourself and the reality of what it is, when you're finally forced to kind of go back into the bare bones of who you truly are. It's important to do so every once in a while. There was a long period of my life where I felt like I was just running from myself, where I was constantly just like ignoring myself or putting myself in unhealthy situations that, yeah, were really interesting and like fun at the time. But now looking back, those years were just a blur of me wanting to escape reality. Reality doesn't have to be scary. Reality is what we make it. The only way to make your reality good is to really take an account for what it is, where you want to go, what you want to leave out. And you can create your reality into anything you want to be. You can be that bad bitch. You can hold yourself to those standards. You can move to that city. You can get that degree. You can get that fucking job. You can make that money. You can look this way. You can do anything you set your mind to. All right? Don't block your blessings. Don't get in your way. But take that time in isolation if you need it. I'm very, very much so there. I'm less active on socials, I've noticed. I mean, with you guys, always consistent. I love it. But like less active with being out and experiencing, and more active with just like focusing inwards and taking accountability and really looking wholeheartedly at my life, asking myself, where do I want to go, and doing the things now so I can get there. It takes time, it takes effort, but if you feel that drive, you feel that passion, do it now. Don't put off the passion. Lean into that energy that you have for this new version of yourself, for this new version of your life. It will become your reality sooner than later, I promise. But with that being said, we should smoke one more bowl and I've got to go. I'm going to make me some lunch. I'm going to make a spicy chicken Caesar salad. That just sounded really yummy for lunch. I want something like crunchy and spicy. I'm a spicy girl all the way. Honestly, if you put me on the Hot Ones show, I think I would have no reaction at any of them. Genuinely, I crave spice and heat. But yeah, I'm gonna make me a little spicy chicken Caesar salad. I'm gonna play with my cat because the poor thing is so bored right now. It's like, bitch, please get off the microphone and pay attention to me. I'm so sorry, Danger. But yeah, it's going to be a very chill day. I'm excited. I hope you're feeling well and I hope you're taking care of yourself. Remember, every day is a new day and you can always start now. Cheers, girlies. With With that being said, thank you all so much for getting us in the top 1% this past year. That's insane. I can't wait to see the growth that we do in this next year and where it takes us. It's going to be so amazing and so beautiful. I'm so thankful to have every single one of you guys here every single week. It really truly is just a testimony to wanting to do better, to wanting to experience the world, to wanting to learn. And I'm glad I can do it side by side with you guys. If you want to hear more from me, come join the Patreon. We have a lot of fun there. Patreon.com/smokeseshshotty. And if you want to support, you want a mug, you want a t-shirt, you want a hoodie, smokesesh.com for all the sesh goods. Love you hotties. Stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all next week. Mwah.